Hey, this is Bruce Cook, and this is another update on how well my pepper plants are going along. Today's update is going to be mainly about these young plants I got right here, how far along they've come, and what I'm doing with them now. So once I get in here, and so if you've seen my previous videos, you know I've been experimenting with using shade cloth to harden off these plants. Started off with 2 layers of 40% shade cloth, and then I peeled back half of one of the layers to allow these plants to get half of that sunlight in during the day. And then when I was comfortable after a couple weeks, I took the entire 1 layer of shade cloth off, so the plants were getting a whole 40% during the entire day. And then I started, it was about a little more than a week ago, I actually rolled this net up to about right here. So about this much of the plants were getting some sunlight. And the way that would work would be when the sun would be up in that part of the sky for a short amount of time during the day, it would expose these plants to direct sunlight for a very small fraction of the day. And then I was gradually bringing it up higher and higher on here until, as you see, I have this halfway, but more than half of the day, going back several days ago, these were getting direct sunlight, and they were taking it like a champ. And even though it has been raining, we've had parts of the days where it was going above 90 degrees, and these plants were taking it just fine. They weren't wilting. I mean, they weren't wilting horribly, and as of a couple days ago, they finally weren't wilting at all. So I actually, a couple days ago, took several of these out. You probably see I got some missing spots in here, and I transplanted them, and I've had them in under direct sunlight during the day. So the ones I've started out with, I'm going to be doing more today. And so I got one of my orange habanero plants. I actually put that one in a 2-gallon container because I think I only have 1 or 2 of those anyways. The rest of these are going in 1-gallon containers. And then my Ricardo Aji Largos, I got those from Philip Emery. These things, I got them all in 1-gallon container. They were the tallest, and they were having roots come out the bottom of those quart-sized containers. So I made those the first to go out. And these things have handled being under direct sunlight no problem. So I got all of these out right now. I think I have a total of, I guess there's 6 of them there. I know I gave a couple of them out to my coworkers because they're more into, if anything, the milder pepper strains, not the super hot so much. Although I did give a lot of super hots out because they wanted to grow them for the fun of them, and I had plenty to give out. But yeah, these Ricardo Aji Largos are looking so healthy. So I got Philip Emery to thank for that. And look, these are in their final containers now. I'm going to be trying to put out as much as I can. So I'm in a bit of pain today, and so I'm not going to be able to be out here for too long. I'll get what I can done. But yeah, it seems as though these plants are more than ready to start putting out under direct sunlight to join the rest of the plants for the rest of the season. And on top of that, I have even more varieties beginning to start ripening on a large scale. So my aji lemon drops, I got a bunch of them that just started ripening. You probably see around the plant, I do have more and more that are ripening. And then we have, I know some of my purple ghost peppers started, there might be some chocolate varieties that are ripening as well. I don't know. These are a little harder to look through because they're not quite as tall as the other ones, and there's a lot of foliage. But I know I seen, all right, where is it? I know I've seen some of these purple. Yeah, see, that's the sort of color you can expect these purple ghosts to ripen into. If you notice, the color on these things are lightening up. They start out as purple and then they become a lighter, sometimes burgundy, sometimes like a lighter tan color, and they are just beginning to do that now. My yellow ghost peppers are doing the same. You can see more of these peppers are beginning to ripen, and there's a little baby one right there. And then got, see, I spotted a Nagamorich. Oh yeah, that's a Nagamorich. That's actually turning a nice red color. So I'm used to those becoming like really dark orange, darker than the regular yellow ghosts. Now, one disappointing thing I found was that these, what are supposed to be all red ghosts, I don't know, it was over a week ago, I discovered 3 of the plants turned out to be chocolate bootlas, so I moved them over with the rest of the chocolate bootla DMs. And there's 2 plants here that have these yellow peppers on there. Now, yellow is one of the phases that a red ghost pepper goes into before it turns into its final red color. But unfortunately, it's been well over a week, and these peppers only went from yellow to a slight shade of orange. And that's what you expect with yellow ghost peppers when they're fully ripened. There's no sign that these that 2 of these plants are red ghost peppers at all. I think they're yellow ghosts, and I somehow botched up the labeling. Now, one plant is definitely a red ghost pepper plant. These things have been coming along fine. I have had some peppers drop off the plant after they were fully ripened. The peppers were still good when they dropped off, but I had to bag them up, put them in the freezer. But so it sadly turns out I only have 1 red ghost pepper plant. So I can't remember if any of those small young ones over there were red ghosts. And that's too bad, because in the beginning when I was throwing out a lot of seedlings after I germinated everything, you know, I had an excessive number of each variety. After successfully germinating, you know, I didn't have the room to bring all of the seedlings up. There was plenty of red ghost seedlings that got thrown out, and now in the very end it turned out I only had 1, so I might not be selling the red ghosts. I'll just be giving them away every here and there, but I'm not going to be having those up for sale. I didn't look through the chocolate primatellis. I know my Lucifer lemons are starting to ripen on a large scale, so I just discovered a whole bunch of them were ripening. Yeah, you can see my Lucifer lemons. You can see them, the yellowing. So I got some real beautiful ones in here. And this one has been in its full yellow color for about more than a week now. That is the one I'm going to be eating on video. But then the rest of them I'll be sending out to those that I've told I was going to send peppers out to, who have helped me. And then the rest of them are going to be put up for sale. And then last time I gave an update that the Reaper plants, which were the last to start producing. Dog, you're confusing me. Quit it. I can't think with the dog barking. But the Reapers were the last to start putting out. And they're putting out quite a bit now. And so you got little bumblebee or carpenter bee pollinating things. You see that little wad of pollen on its legs. But yeah, the Carolina Reapers are coming along really well. You can see them all throughout there. They're putting out just as nicely as the other ones, the other last 2 that I put out. So let's look around and see if any of these are ripening yet. See, these are the yellow Murga scorpions. I'm not sure if they are yet. I know I have had quite a few yellow Murga scorpions drop off the plants while they were still green. I've just been collecting them if they didn't have holes in them from bugs or sunspots. I've been just throwing them in a bag, putting them in the freezer, and I've already been throwing them in my food. And then you got these Dragon's Breath. Let's see, is there anything going on with the Dragon's Breath? Well, I'll tell you, this thing is littered with peppers, and it doesn't just have a whole bunch of them. They're all growing full size. I didn't have any dragon's breath last year that grew that big. I hardly got any dragon's breath at all last year, in fact, just because the plants grew in so small. So I had them in quart-sized containers, and now they're all full size, looking beautiful, plenty of them. So I would imagine these ought to be some hot sellers, just because, I mean, you had goofballs on YouTube making videos that didn't know anything about peppers, saying that these were hot enough to kill a man. So I would imagine a lot of people would want to try those out. Then you got, well, I already showed those Carolina Reapers. Let's see how our chocolate bootlets are doing, if we got anything ripening on these yet. So, I mean, well, I tell you, look at the size of that thing. Holy cow. It's the freaking size of a golf ball, the top of that one. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever had a chocolate bootleg grow out like that. Top of it the size of a golf ball, and the rest of it looks like a regular, it's growing out the way a regular chocolate bootleg DM. Oh, I don't even think I pointed this out. When I was putting these plants out here, when it was cold out and I was using my shade cloth, I think I featured my two little containers right here. I had put spearmint plants in one and lavender in the other, and weirdly enough, there was only one plant of all the seeds I put in these things, one of each, one lavender and one spearmint, that grew out. Well, there might be more growing out in the spearmint now, but I almost threw these out. I didn't think anything was going to become of them, and I did have one lavender and one spearmint, and they definitely smell like lavender and spearmint, so that's pretty cool. I was just growing those just for the fun of it anyways. Red Scotch bonnets, I didn't notice any ripening yet on these, but the red Scotch bonnets are putting out a good bit. Let's see, I already showed those yellow. Now, how about my Primatales? Anything going on with these yet? No. I mean, there's some, wow, look at the stinger on that one. That's it's over an inch long, that stinger. So I would expect the Primatales should sell pretty good. I know those were pretty popular for me last year, but yeah, those are looking really, really good. Lots of productivity, growing out, good size, good shape. And what else do I have out here that I didn't? Yeah, the chocolate Primatales are still green. I didn't see any ripening just yet. I think these also start turning a slight yellow, but quickly changing to darker colors, you know, going into their chocolate brown state. But I think that might be it. Well, chocolate Murga scorpions, I still can't believe how many of these I'm getting this year. That's crazy. I've never got these plants put out for me like this before. It was lousy growing that I did this last 3 seasons that I tried growing these, and I think the nutrients are what made all the difference. I mean, gosh, I never had a plant even grow maybe a tenth the size that these are. I always had them growing really, really short. Even these Ricardo Ahi Largos are bigger than any of the chocolate Murga scorpions that I grew the last 3 seasons. So I'm very proud of these things this year. So, but anyways, there's my update. I mainly wanted to cover what I got going on with these. They're finally getting taken out from underneath here. I will, once I get all these transplanted and put in their designated spot, I will be removing this little top here, and I'm going to be putting the Ricardo Ahi Largos over here, as well as that habanero, just to give these plants enough space. Try to avoid too much cross-pollination. But there's your update. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one.